Hello, my name is Zachariah Van Sliders with Old Man Gaming, and welcome to a little special we like to do. So, I want to do a little Avengers content. I know what you're thinking. If you follow the channel and if you listen to the podcast, Avengers has caused quite a bit of ups and downs for everybody who is involved. Um, it's very glitchy, it's very buggy, it definitely has its problems, it definitely has its monotony. As far as the bug goes, like watch this one. Okay, I gotta show you this bug. All the characters that were my companions just started spawning everywhere and multiplying, so now there's like 40 of them, and they all do damage. Any bad guy I take on just gets immediately annihilated. And yeah, that was crazy, right? It's the craziest bug I've ever seen in the game. But all of that aside, I'm still having a lot of fun with this game, and I wanted to do some content for it. And I wanted to have a little fun with the content. So, fun is the name of the game today. I am going to be telling you, in my opinion, I'm going to be ranking the 6 original Avengers. Who's the most fun? Who's the least fun? I'm going to start with the least, and I'm going to slowly count down to the number 1 most fun character for your boy Zachariah to play. And I'm gonna go into each little piece about all of the characters too. Now, just before we get started, I just want to give a quick rundown. Characters have willpower. That's basically their health. I don't know why they decided to change the name, but anytime you see willpower in this game, it means health. They have an intrinsic ability, which every Avenger has some sort of different way to use that, but that's kind of like a standard special bar that you can constantly kind of feed off in some different way. It's a different mechanic for each character. They have a light attack, a heavy attack, which also have combos. They all have a ranged attack of some kind. And then they all have some sort of movement ability or way that they move through the world. So, basically, they also all have a support ability, an assault ability, and an ultimate ability. So basically, I took all of those things from each one of these characters, and in my opinion, I'm going to break down what each one of these are, what's fun about them, and what's not fun about them as I go through this list. So hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm also going to pick one small drop zone that's relatively easy and just run it with each while I talk to you. So I'm actually going to be playing while I'm talking, so this is a new thing that I'm trying, so give me a little leeway to screw up, as I just did. Alright, so we'll be right back with your number 5. Alright, so my number 6, my least favorite to play is Black Widow. Yeah, I know that's going to surprise a lot of you guys. I know a lot of people like Black Widow. I don't. Let me go over why. Okay, so first and foremost, her movement ability. She just does a normal jump. She can also do this leaping, like she can like swing with like a grappling hook. And it's okay. There's nothing really special about it. She doesn't really get around faster, and the grappling hook itself works very slowly in certain swinging situations, which I find very frustrating. Then she has a ranged attack, which might be her best attack. It also has downsides though. That's the double guns. I like the double guns, however, it gets monotonous. There's not a lot to it, and it's a lot of just button mashy, shoot, 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 shoot sort of thing. Her combos are fine. There's nothing really bad about them. We're going to go to the next area, then I'll keep talking. So, then we have, as an ability, we have this Widow's Bite shock attack, which usually stuns them. It's fine. It's kind of slow. A little bit lethargic for me. And then we have her best ability without, by far in my opinion, and that's this. And the Widow's Veil. Her and all of her teammates become invisible and unseen, and they can just waylay everybody. This is the best part of her. And it's very clear that the reason she has this is because of her intrinsic ability, which is the worst part about her, which is my least favorite part and why she's on number 6. She doesn't have an intrinsic ability. Like, everybody else has some mechanic that she uses there, Basically what it is the more hits you deal in melee combat to opponents without getting hit, your intrinsic ability goes up. When it maxes out, she goes absolutely balls to the wall, and you get some damage buffs out of it. It's boring. You barely ever get it. It's very hard to actually get that overcharge, so I find it very irritating. Then her ultimate attack is, I think it's actually called Overcharge, and it is basically this staff mode that she has. This is actually really cool. I like it. It makes her move and flow really well. Makes her kind of a melee beast at the time, and I enjoyed it. It's one of the better ultimates, but just that intrinsic ability not being there unless you're like hitting without getting hit, it's just frustrating to me, and it kind of makes her a little monotonous in my opinion. Alright, so that's my least favorite, Widow. We'll be back with number 5 in a second. Oh, one more thing about Widow. She can also do grappling hook counters with her RT button against like physical attacks, which is nice. They are cool. However, I also find that it doesn't work as much as I would have liked it to. Number 5 pains me to no end, but it's Hulk. Okay, Hulk really only beat out Black Widow because Hulk is my absolute favorite. He is one of my all-time favorite heroes. I love him, and he's my second highest level character. However, that doesn't actually make him fun to play. So, unfortunately, let's go over it. To start, Hulk does not have any counters. He does have a dodge, which you can perfect dodge with, but he has no counters or defense or parries. What he has is rage. Rage, you hold down RT, you go super green, and every piece of damage you do does extra. The damage you take doesn't hurt you, instead it takes more rage away from you, and you also slowly regenerate health. So, rage is nice. However, rage tends to make things monotonous. You end up just going into a fight, holding down the rage button, and bashing things through until you run out of rage, at which point you kind of run around until you regain it and grab some health and then go back to it again. He has the stranglehold assault ability, which you saw in the beginning. Basically, he rushes forward, grabs a character, slams him into the ground. It's nice, but unfortunately it really only affects one unless you can somehow manage to time it so that he hits a big group. That brings us to his support ability, which is Bone Shaker. I'll show you that right now. He hits the ground, does a small amount of area effect damage, but intimidates all his opponents around him while giving all of his cohort some armor bonus, and he taunts, as in they'll all attack Hulk. That brings us to his movement abilities. He has an ever-increasing jump, but overall he's the slowest. He's hard to get to places. It's frustrating because of this.
Keep the area free of hostiles.
And you want to be in the next mission, but you've got to kind of like jump around kind of sillily, which is very frustrating. He also has a couple of different mechanics. One of them being he can grab and pick up opponents. Oh, I went down. Somebody rescue me so I can finish this. There we go. Thanks, Cap. Alright, so he grabs opponents so that he can then bash them on the ground as well as other people. That's a lot of fun. That's probably the best part about Hulk, is that mechanic. He can also throw them, use them as ranged weapons. It's a lot of fun. That brings us to his ultimate, which I'm going to show you in a second. And it's this. One giant, massive area effect thunderclap. He yells Hulk smash. That's also a lot of fun too. I do enjoy that. Now, while Hulk looks cool, everything he does looks cool. You get real bored of playing him. Anybody who's mentioned that the game can be button mashy, they're talking about Hulk, for sure. There's no one else, like, of all the characters, he is without a doubt the most button mashy, and that's a little frustrating. I find that a little frustrating, and it's the reason he is number 6 on this, number 5 on this list. He should probably be number 6, but I have more fun playing him, probably because I'm a Hulk fan, but it's just the way it is. And hey, it's my list. Oh, and I'm dead. So I'm just gonna let myself be dead. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna do, alright, number 4, Iron Man, Tony Stark, the man himself.
Disable the nearby hypercircuit station.
Iron Man is interesting. He is kind of middle range for me. I'm not a huge Iron Man fan, but he actually is a lot of fun to play in this game. He is very ranged focused. Let's talk about why. First of all, he has a ranged attack. It's a little bit clunky, but his heavy attack is actually ranged attacks. He just does heavy attack, ranged attack combos. So you can just work it into his normal combo attacks. Because of that, he's very interesting. His intrinsic ability fits right into this. It's actually the repulsors. And this is how it allows him to not be broken, to just do ranged attacks non-stop. By actually, you know, limiting that in some way. I am getting my butt kicked. I'm sorry you guys are watching that. Now, his movement ability is flight. Fun, 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 fun. Gotta love flight. Not as good as Anthem, obviously, but flight nonetheless, and it is fun to fly around as him. I'm not gonna question that whatsoever. That brings us to, he doesn't really have any counters, so to speak. He's just your normal dodge sort of person. And that kind of irritated me. There wasn't a lot of, like, anything to his defense, so that made things a little bit, I don't know, annoying to me. In addition to repulsors, you can actually switch it out with the directional button to rockets, which is a lot of fun. He can have these, like, homing rockets that you fire out at your targeted opponents. Let's see if we can't get some of them off. There we go. Boom! So you can actually, there's a lot of, like, variation with him, which is very cool. There's a lot of ways to trick out his build and make him feel different than he normally does.
I have marked the station's
My Unibeam is finally good, so we'll show you what that does. Shaka boom. That's his assault ability. His defensive ability, we will show you in a second when I can get it charged. Alright, so we're back. We're going to show you what his support ability is charged up, and that is the Arc Overload. I'm not exactly sure what it does for your friends, but it means that you can shoot your repulsors or your rockets indefinitely while it's active. Your intrinsic ability will not go down while it is revved up and ready to go, and that's really cool. You could just kind of go off with that ranged attacks and those ranged combos that you have. Alright, so we're back. We have the ultimate charged up and we're about to use it. His ultimate, you guessed it, Hulkbuster.
Hey, where did this thing come from?
Maybe? There it is. You summon it, then you gotta get into it. And once you're into it, you are a big, lean, mean fighting machine. I will say the Hulkbuster is one of the reasons he's a little bit lower on this list. I found the Hulkbuster a little bit irritating. It's not that easy to use. Also, his big attack is this, like, dive forward and grab attack. It's very hard to aim and control. He also gets very monotonous. He's a lot more fun to play normally without doing the Hulkbuster. And I'll say one final annoyance about Tony Stark is while his writing is very good, and Nolan North, the guy who plays him, is very good at that as well. He tends to, once you get into the games as service thing, repeat the same lines over and over and over again, and it gets very, very frustrating and annoying. So, that's Iron Man. We will be back with your number 3, top half. Number 3, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Okay, why is Kamala so fun? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, number 1 with a bullet is her movement. She can do this like super dash. She can also web sling with her polymorph arms to different places. I'm just moving right now just to show you how much movement and freedom of movement she has. It's very clear that they wanted her to be the center of attention in a lot of the campaign stuff, so they made sure that her movement was as smooth, fluid, and fun to play as possible. And because of it, it is fun to just run around as her. So that's got to be her biggest number 3, but that's not the only thing she does. She also has her assault technique, which is high five. Boom! Huge control area sort of attack, knocks everybody back. Even the big things get pushed back, which is really nice. It's a lot of fun. It's very useful when you're fighting those big mobs too. Just very useful to do. Her support ability is also one of the best because it's very simply just her heal. Everybody gets a little willpower back. Actually, a lot of willpower back. And it's actually one of the reasons that while I may not play her as a main most of the time, whenever I'm going in with companions, I'm using her on my team so that we can have that. Her light and heavy combos are fast and snappy. They move quickly together. And then her ability is, her intrinsic ability is to polymorph. Now, as long as you hold the RT, basically what will happen is any blue colored attack that comes in, she will automatically dodge. In addition, she gets a small damage bonus, as well as a small damage reduction bonus. So it's a nice, very easy to use and useful intrinsic ability to have. All in all, she's a fun character to play. Like, she really is. You couple the movement with how easy she is to play. Like, her combos are very fluid. They move well together. She's just a lot of fun, and that's why she's number 3. I think I've completely covered her though. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our top 2. Man, I can't believe I almost forgot her big ultimate attack, and that would be Embiggen. Ant-Man style, she gets super big, and with it gets a big damage and endurance buff. I will say this wasn't my favorite ultimate ability of all the characters. It's not terrible, but it gets very monotonous, and again, kind of in the vein of Iron Man. Like, it just feels better to play her when she's not in her ultimate. So it's kind of irritating that the reward of being good in the ultimate is to get this kind of like weaker, well, not weaker, but less fun version. It's definitely strong. So, alright, that definitely covers her. So now let's actually move on to number 2 and number 1. Alright, number 2, the mighty god Thor. Okay, so this character in this game is the power fantasy, 100%. He has basically all of the strengths of every character and none of the weaknesses. He's just super strong, super overpowered, and super fun to play. And I go down immediately while I'm telling you that, but of course. So basically, let's start with his ranged attack. The hammer, it's amazing. It hits and it stays where it throws, so you can actually pin bad guys to the wall and take them out of the fight. He'll even keep fighting while it's pinned, and has trees to like facilitate such things. He then also, as his movement ability, he can fly like Iron Man. And then his intrinsic ability is, well, we'll talk about it as we move to the next place. His intrinsic ability is lightning. Much like Hulk's rage, you just press it, you hold it, and then like everything you hit gets overcharged with electricity. So he has Hulk's best weapon, and he has Hulk's weapon without the monotony of the Hulk's attacks, which is a huge thing. His assault ability is this God's Blast, boom, which just nukes everything in front of him. Then he has Heaven's Rain, Warrior Fury, with give everybody armored, and also overcharges all of his attacks for a certain amount of time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up to the ultimate in this fight because I'm doing so good in it. So I'm just going to describe it. Basically, it's also very creative. He uses the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. He teleports out of the stage. Then there's an icon, like a little targeting meter. You position that wherever you want, and that's where he hits. And he does massive amounts of damage to it, which allow him to penetrate shields, penetrate opponents' guards, penetrate other things. It's a really cool attack, and everything he does is basically really cool. There's nothing wrong with Thor. If there's any downside, it's the fact that it's hard to lose with him. I know I've gone down twice, but it's very late while I'm doing this video. I'm very tired, and I'm also trying to talk to you while doing it. But usually, like, it's very hard to go down as him. And I'm gonna get to do the ultimate after all. Here we go. Boom. So, with that being said, I tend to like a little bit more fight in it, a little bit more finesse to it, but like I said, he never gets monotonous like Hulk, even when he's super powerful, because there's just so many ways to attack and move with him. He's a lot of fun to play. Alright, so we'll be back with the number one, which, if you guys are counting and have been keeping score, you know it's Captain America, which might surprise you guys that I picked him as my most favorite. But you know what? I'll come back and I'll tell you why it is that I love him so much. Alright, number one with a bullet is Captain America. So, the reason I love Captain America is this is all about fun to play. He's not overpowered, he's not monotonous, he takes finesse. It actually has to feel like you're good at playing him to play him. So let's go over his stuff. First, he's got his ranged shield, which is nice, snappy, quick to the point. You can also build it up so that it will actually start to combo and do bigger damage, which is real nice. He then has the Steamroller ability, where he throws a shield and it hits just a ton of people. Still hitting people. There we go. Then he has his Rallying Cry, which gives everybody a buff, and also you get taunt, so everybody will attack you for a while. His intrinsic ability is to hold the shield up and block damage, but again, this isn't a very tanky thing, because he has to actually have the shield directed at his opponent in order to stop them. And then, yeah, he also can counter, parry, and block with his shield, which is really fun. If you get those perfect blocks, you can set up opponents for big, huge combos. We're going to move to the next area. We'll keep talking after that.
These enemies must be defeated.
So, as I was saying, he can set up big combos. He's got a lot of interesting builds for his tree. Namely, he can use takedowns to keep his abilities going almost indefinitely. Then he's got his ultimate, which I'm going to do right now for you, Brooklyn Brawler. Basically, it means he uses his shield with every attack, meaning he hits with the punch, Then he hits with the shield coming and going, doing massive damage and combo attacks. He also breaks shields while he's in Brooklyn Brawler and just generally kicks ass. Again, I love Cap. Oh, and movement, he does a double jump. And he also does a, if I can do it right, wall run. He's not super slow. I mean, he doesn't fly, but he can get around. It doesn't take him that long to get anywhere, and he's just a lot of fun to play. The fights are very interesting. They're more based on strategy and when you're using stuff, how you're parrying, how you're like comboing into your ranged and your melee. He's just, I mean, when it comes to fun, he is the guy who makes the game feel like it could be better than it is. He's the guy who's like, when you think the combos, the combat system has like potential that it hasn't realized, the potential is seen when you play Captain America. It's just so much fun. He's perfectly balanced. And yeah, like I said, there's nothing button mashy about him. It takes precision, strategy, and quality of play to actually play him, and it just makes the game so much more fun than it probably normally would be. So that's it, guys. That's my my fun tier list there. The most fun character is Captain America, and I hope you guys have fun. Remember, this is all just my opinion. I'm sure you guys disagree, and if you do, comment below. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what I got right. I'd love to hear from you guys. You can also reach us on Facebook at OmegaGamingTH, on Twitter at OmegaGaming9. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the description below, and you can influence all of our shows from there. Please, click the like, click the subscribe, and share us. We would love to hear from you, love to get some more subscribers. If you know somebody who you think would like what we do here, please tell them about us. We would love more subscribers. So, alright, it is very late, and I still have to edit this, so I'm going to let you go. As long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. See you next time.